Alright guys, today we'll actually be discussing the two videos on some of the spoilers which are actually featured in the movie. But please do note, this is actually not going to be showing the full picture because I don't know who it belongs to, but I think it belongs to the user, the Chilean Bond. Because of this, I'm really gonna watch Nahuel and the Magic Book, which is the full movie later. And unfortunately, I don't know about it. I could get presumably a copyright strike if I showed the picture to you. And apparently, if I take a photo and post it on social media, I am not really that sure if I can get a copyright strike or not. It's because, I don't really want to get into serious trouble like I did the last time. Anyways, I think we can start right now. So for the spoilers, my favorite scene from Nahuel and the Magic Book. No, I'm crying. So apparently, this video actually belongs to Michael, but unfortunately for that, I'm not really that sure if he really got a copyright strike or not. That's what I was actually afraid of, because people do get copyright strikes for uploading a video they shouldn't be uploading. Okay, but let's continue this part. Okay, so first video is Nahuel trying to save his father from being brainwashed by Kalku. So once Nahuel runs into the old abandoned shed, he actually notices that his dad is still alive. Once he opens the door, he sees his dad brainwashed by Kalku. So this is actually similar to when Mrs. Erlenmeyer actually brainwashed Joey in Erlenmeyer's Revenge. After Erlenmeyer did send Joey to detention and blaming him for doing all the naughty stuff that he did when it was actually AP. So eventually when Nahuel goes over to his father who was brainwashed, he tries to tell his father, not knowingly, Kalku asked his father to kill his son. So eventually, it's actually in the Spanish translation. I don't really know about it. So eventually, you could find in the scene that his father decides to kill him by throwing a crate on him. Nahuel tries to run away as fast as he can and thought of a situation on how to turn his father back to normal. He then tries to kill Nahuel instantly with a wheelbarrow and an oil drum. So after that, Nahuel surrenders, and somehow his father grabs Nahuel by the neck. This is also similar to Dr. Ido when he was actually pulled from the neck by Wichta after Alita notices them. So eventually, the locket comes out. Nahuel falls to the ground, and then Antonio decides to look at the locket, not knowingly. It was a picture of him and Costello. Before long, and before I mention anything, if you don't know who Costello is, she's actually the mother of Nahuel, who dies at the beginning of the film. So, he remembers his wife Costello and goes back to normal. He remembers a flashback that Costello actually called Antonio's name. They were at the beach at that time, and this was actually the time before Nahuel was born. If I'm not really mistaken, I don't really know about the translation because, sometimes the captions can go a little bit airy, and I cannot speak in Spanish. I only know a little bit of Spanish, but sometimes it's very, very hard to know the captions. It's very, very hard for me to do something on a YouTube video. It's like very hard to do something on a YouTube video. So after that, Antonio goes back to normal. He notices the picture and he starts to cry. He misses his wife Costello, and he still tries not to forget her after the death of Costello during the birth of Nahuel. So after that, Nahuel tries to apologize. And there was actually a time that He was happy to see his son being alive. He then hugs his son and begins to cry. So the translation goes like this, for those of you who are not really a Spanish speaker. Nahuel, Dad, it's my fault. I did something that I shouldn't have done to cause all this. I'm sorry. No, son. The only one who should apologize is me. Sorry for being such a bad father to you. Nahuel, I love you so much, my son. Okay, there's actually a mistake right here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure if I'm really correct. I know this is actually Michael's video, but I don't really want to steal it. I'm not going to be mean to others. Eventually, I think Antonio should be here, if I'm not really mistaken. I'm not really familiar with it because, I definitely didn't upload that video. I would never upload these kinds of videos, but I would seriously do discussions. I seriously do discussions instead of showing the picture. It's to avoid letting me have another copyright. Sometimes I wouldn't steal video, but last year and this year I did steal some videos, including 2018. I really did steal some videos, but I've learned a lesson after that. I shouldn't be stealing other people's videos unless I do have the permission to use it. But anyways, this is actually similar to the part where Rajan's father tells Mowgli that he's the one that should be sorry, and he should understand that the jungle is a part of who he is in the end. So after that, Nahuel's father and Nahuel starts to cry. Not knowingly, they got back together, but for Antonio being such a bad father and doing his wrongdoings to his son, not knowingly he had to apologize. So Nahuel thinks that it was his fault, but it wasn't his fault. It was actually his father's fault. I know sometimes parents can be really strict at times, sometimes parents can be really strict. It definitely does depend on people, Sometimes you just see Asian parents, they get really, really strict a lot because of the grades, because they skip their curfew. But then it's an embracing moment that Antonio loves him no matter what. And actually that's the first part of the scene. Now for the next part of the scene, we're actually going to Nahuel and Frisha being best friends in 15 minutes. So the alternative title is this one, you may know, okay, and the Magico, you may know. But it's just Nahuel and Frisha as friends. So let's just go through a little bit of the summary. So when Henshaw and Frisha notices that there's a crow in the house, she noticed that Nahuel needs its energy. Frisha, the grandmother had ordered Frisha to make the herbs and make this drink for him. So apparently it just says appreciate the herbs that we prepare. You rich boy, now drink. I don't know if it's the correct subtitle because I'm not too sure about this because it's very, very hard to find the English subtitle, and apparently they just speak in not so good dialects. So apparently you could just see Frisha just making the herbs and drinking and making Nahuel drink for its energy. So for herbs right here, this one is actually a herb which is actually used in Chinese medicine and cooking. It means it's very healthy or vegetarian. It sometimes has a hidden meaning in Chinese cuisines and Chinese tea. Since I'm actually a Chinese, I know a lot of herbal things like herbal medicine, herbal tea, herbal soup that they put in bak kut teh. That one I really don't like bak kut teh because it's very, very bitter, and I really don't like herbs and Thai. But I do like the medicine because when I was sick at that time, when I was very, very young at the time, I actually got a powdered herb medicine. You just put it in hot water instantly, you let it cool, and then you just drink it to make yourself feel better. It would normally take 2 weeks to get better, you know. So it says drink it while it's hot. So there was actually the herb right here, like there was the herbs and leaves. I'm really gonna show the picture, but I'm not really going to play the video, okay? And to Michael, I'm so sorry if I have to use this video as an example. I know I don't really steal the videos that much, but please don't let anyone give me a copyright strike because I'm not playing that video. I'm only just going through the parts and not showing the video. So here's actually the medicine right here. It actually has like the herbs and leaves. It also has a greenish color. It looks very bitter. Basically, Chinese people would normally drink these kinds of medicine, you know. Chinese people would drink these kinds of medicine, and the medicine is definitely used as a helpful ingredient to heal people or to make people recover from the cold or the flu. So once Nahuel finally drinks it, he notices Frisha making another batch of medicine, and apparently he begins to feel like they are his parents, unfortunately. I think I made a mistake on the 2 videos. I'm not too sure if I'm really right or I'm definitely wrong. And unfortunately, I'm not too sure about it. So, Michael, if you notice some mistakes on this video right here, you can try to help me correct it because I'm very, very bad, and you know how much I love to tell stories, but sometimes this one, the Hell in the Magic Book videos are getting very hard to memorize. Like, what do they like seriously mean like that? I'm not really much a Spanish speaker, but sometimes I know a little bit of Spanish. So apparently it's fine by me because, you know, sometimes I just get worried for myself. I'll make a mistake because, you know, how much this video just meant to me. And this is actually the first April Fool's Day video that I actually wanted to create and wanted to discuss. So it says, yes, but don't worry, I'm one of the good ones. She's my apprentice. What's your name? So actually the Henshaws apprentice, who is actually her granddaughter, is named Frisha. So Nahuel thought that Frisha and the Henshaw were villains. So when Nahuel introduces his name, he notices that he had to tell the Henshaw what happened. So eventually, when the Henshaw was actually on the beach, she notices a black feather, but it separates away into ashes. So once she walks over, including Frisha, she apparently saw a shipwrecked boat with Nahuel lying unconscious after a big wave separated the two. So apparently Frisha uses a broom and tries to smash the crows, but notices that they have no time to waste because Frisha wants to let Nahuel find his father before Kalku decides to brainwash him. Frisha decides to lead the way as they both decide to find their father. And in the next scene, Nahuel picks up a stick. Frisha and Nahuel were using the stick to make the fire. So eventually, Frisha picks up 2 rocks, and these are actually magical fire stones. It's a gift from actually Frisha's grandmother, and I remember you guys just saying like some people were just mentioning in their heads like that. Is Frisha an orphan? I'm not really that sure. It never mentions the story about Frisha being an orphan. So I actually know that Frisha lives with her grandmother, but it's currently unknown if she's like an orphan or not. And I've noticed everyone does know that Nahuel isn't Frisha's sister, so this one we already know. So apparently Nahuel gets really surprised. He wanted to try using the 2 magical fire stones to set the fire. But once he does it, he accidentally hits on a half beast, half snake. I'm not too sure what it's actually called, but something in Spanish. I think it's called the dinosaur, if I'm not mistaken, like half creature of the dinosaur. I'm not really that sure. But then when the dinosaur strikes them, Frisha and Nahuel decides to run away, but the dinosaur apparently picks up the bag and the book. Not knowingly the dinosaur was going to do that, Nahuel tries to climb up, but he lost his grip and balance. Not trying to avoid the monster, but he also tried to grab Frisha's hand, but falls on the ground. Nahuel is injured for one bit, but notices that Runde was about to save him. So apparently we don't see Runde right here, but in the next part we do. So when Nahuel was actually reading the book on the Levisterio, he notices that Frisha was about to tell him why did he do this. It's to overcome his fears, and both of them set out for the night in the camp zone. In the next morning, Frisha and Nahuel were actually collecting apples, but in the scene right here, you could just see that they saw this place, and both Nahuel and Frisha were forced to do work in the old tavern. However, the Tranquil was actually the goblin who decides to bet Nahuel in the challenge, but Nahuel wins the challenge because Frisha voted for him. But in the next morning, Frisha wakes up having a bad nightmare, not knowingly Kalku will brainwash children, including Frisha. But the next morning, Nahuel rushes to the room, noticing the mysterious book was gone, and they stole it from me. But I would just say that Kalku really stole the book because Kalku was actually the main antagonist of the movie, Nahuel and the Magic Book. So eventually he leaves Frisha and he wants Nahuel to go alone. But Frisha warns Nahuel that he would get killed by Kalku and being brainwashed, just like his father. So what happens is that Nahuel wanted to go to the lighthouse with Frisha, but he wants to get his father back and he needs the book. And the demon said it's on another island and you already know my situation without the spell of bravery. So apparently it doesn't look like a good time, so the wolf Runde decides to follow Nahuel for his own safety. But once they are back, Nahuel apologizes to Frisha that he couldn't have left her and they would have did this together to defeat the evil Kalku. So apparently Nahuel and Frisha were both ready to go save the father. But once it's not over, the wolf Runde decides to see Raquin. So Raquin and Runde were actually cursed by Kalku's dark magic. Kalku turning into a sorcerer, Runde turning into a wolf, and Raquin turning into a demon girl. So apparently Runde decides to save the children. Nahuel and Frisha runs for their lives, not knowingly the crows were going to attack them. But once they had an exit, and once they had to run, both kids surrendered, not knowingly Raquin actually had to kill the children. But Runde decides to save the day, but it's not hurt. It's just a little injured. So Frisha decides to let Nahuel go and save his father. So eventually at the end of the scene, Nahuel tries to confront the evil sorcerer Kalku, but Kalku decides to kill the boy. But after that, Frisha saves him with her magical stones. And not knowingly, he throws Nahuel into the ground. Not knowingly, Frisha had to come to the rescue to save Nahuel. However, Frisha has been used and controlled by the evil Kalku. Frisha screams in agony as Kalku was just trying to kill her. So eventually, Kalku had used his magic, and Freesia decided, and then the dino monster, which is a sea dinosaur, apparently wanted to eat her up. Freesia screams in agony again, but Nahuel trips on the wire, not knowingly that there was a cable and a switch to help stop the evil Kalku. In order to use the light, Nahuel decides to use the liver, but it's no use. But not knowingly, his friend was going to get eaten by the dinosaur. But once that was done, Nahuel and Freesia and Antonio saw the light, and they apparently saw the evil dinosaur. But not knowingly, the dinosaur had kind of smashed the lighthouse, and then Kalku actually melted, and that was his villain defeat. He was defeated and killed by the sea dinosaur. So what happened to the Listerio? The Listerio was actually destroyed by the sea dinosaur. So the lighthouse was destroyed. Freesia falls on the ground, but not knowingly, the water pipes break, and somehow the water gets too strong. Nahuel slips onto the ground, but his father saves him from falling to death. Nahuel tries to grab Freesia's hand before she falls into the water, but it was too late. Freesia tries to grab his hand, but loses her balance. Unfortunately, she falls straight into the water, screaming. Not knowingly she'll die. Nahuel had no choice to save his friend Freesia before she got eaten to death. So Nahuel tries to go into the water without fear. He then went in the water and tries to save her. So this was actually the end, when Nahuel overcomes his fear to save Freesia from being eaten alive. So after that, Freesia drowns, and suddenly Nahuel tries to swim. So apparently Nahuel tries to grab Freesia's hand, but he manages to save her. Unfortunately for that, Nahuel becomes very unconscious. So does Freesia. He wouldn't hold his breath that long. Both of the kids were very unconscious. But not knowingly, Nahuel could even conquer his fear of the water. So apparently, he swims towards her and saves Freesia from being eaten alive. So after that, the sea dinosaur comes in. Nahuel starts to cry again, which was a little cry. He begins to hug Freesia, but then not noticeably, he saved Freesia and conquered his fear of the water. After that, Freesia coughs off the water, and she is conscious again. Nahuel hugs her, and Freesia worries that where's the book? So the book is apparently destroyed. We don't know where it is. So apparently Nahuel hugs her, and then the day is saved again. So apparently Nahuel and Antonio, Freesia, Nahuel, and Antonio watches the sunset. It was actually the god of the sea, but then apparently it was a happy ending. So the happy ending, Nahuel apparently steered the boat with his father. Not knowingly, they crashed into the rocks. But once Freesia apparently goes through the rocks, she calls Nahuel right here to join them for a picnic. Nahuel waves back to her, and Freesia waves back. So after that, the two of them had fun in the ocean. Nahuel not being afraid of the water, splashing with each other to have a happy ending. But then in this picture, Freesia and Nahuel notices that it was time for lunch because the hencher cooked something, and they raced back into the beach. So you could apparently see this picture right here that Riquin and Runde were actually back to normal after the curse was broken. So eventually, Freesia and Nahuel races them for a picnic, but not knowingly the father had to join them for the picnic right here. So, what are my thoughts about Nahuel and Freesia? Nahuel and Freesia were actually friends, and they were very cute for each other, even though they had a fear of the dark and the sea. Apparently, what I was gonna say is that both of them knew how to conquer their fear. Even if they're like afraid, if they're scared, they probably would have just conquered their fear in the first place, not knowingly trying to help each other in need. What I'll just say about Nahuel and Grisha is that they look similar to Dipper and Steven, including Pacifica and Connie as well. So what I'm gonna say is that it's kind of true. It's kind of the way I really think. I'll just say that the summary was very, very bad. I'm not really that sure about it, but definitely this is the best I can tell you guys. I'm not too sure about this, but I do believe my prediction was actually correct. I'm so sorry, Michael, if I really had to use your video as an example, but unfortunately I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to really pause it. So eventually, I think that could be all for now, and this is me signing off.